it don't matter. The words I sing, they're just chatter. There's nothing I can say to you. It means much as what I do.
First of all, give a hand for everybody that just spoke tonight. That's not everybody's forte to get up and speak, and I think everybody did amazing. Cliff, just because you work with tigers and bears does not mean you can say the F word in front of everybody and be cool, okay? And wear some socks next time. This is a formal event, buddy. You got the button down, but no socks. So, NEXTies. I was the first year, which was obviously the best year, and you know, at that time I was just, you know, kind of on my own path, and I'd always read about some of these people in the paper, but no one ever really stepped into my surf shop. We had our own world there. And, you know, for us in my organization, we had really focused on childhood hunger, and we were really bent on getting out to kids and talking to them about raising food and money to help feed people. And I got the nod to do the NEXTies, and I really wanted to bring all the kids up there because really it's the kids that do the work. It's not me. I just happen to be like Annalisa, the crazy leader that everybody kind of piles behind. And it was at that moment that I realized that while surf and skate was amazing, I had something different to do, and that something different to do was talking to people about childhood hunger and how that impacts our entire community, and how much to Monica's work and other people's work in this county, we're struggling with that battle. Just like Monica, hunger became apparent in my lifetime. I think it's something that we can solve in my lifetime. However, I think that sometimes as society we move on a preventative method instead of a reparative method instead of preventative. And I actually got so inspired after the NEXTies that I threw myself even more into the work of working with the youth and actually going out to schools and talking to kids and just really getting them motivated to understand that they had choices to make about their community. And that's something that I think have kind of failed children for quite some time is, you know, things, if you think about this, circumstance versus choice, a lot of times kids are just circumstantially driven through life. And then we open the door and say, there you go, good luck. And they've never made choices. This is why sometimes kids get a little crazy and hazing happens and, you know, maybe some things are showing up on social media because we haven't given them the choices and we haven't affirmed those choices with positive, you know, like just telling a kid you're doing a good job. Like, hey, this is something that you can do. This is choice versus circumstance. So I closed my store and I actually went to work at the food bank. And I did that for 4 years, and I swear it was some of the hardest work, the most rewarding, fulfilling work I've ever done in my life, but the needle really didn't move too much. And no matter how much effort we put towards that, it didn't really seem like we were just like pouring sand down a hole. And we collaborate. I mean, all of us here collaborate. We talk all the time. And I kind of light bulb went off in my head, and I just thought, you know, if we could start teaching the next generation now, we can begin to change the future now. We don't have to wait until things are completely broken to make them a priority. We can make them a priority right now. We make them a priority by giving kids the opportunity to make choice and to own these problems. So when I go into schools and I talk to them, I tell them wholeheartedly, you have a choice to make right now. As I stand in front of you, what do you want to live with when you grow up? Do you want to see more of what's happening right now, or do you want to see less? Do you want to live in a community that's sustaining, or do you want to live in a community that's thriving? Because those are your choices to make. You don't have to wait until you turn 18 and go to school and get a degree and then go work somewhere. You can start right now by making rubber band bracelets or having lemonade stands or talking about it. I mean, the biggest thing, I go to these schools, and I was blessed to have Jacob introduce me to a teacher out in Watsonville, and these kids always raise their hand and they're like, we'll fundraise for you. What do you need us to do? And I said, actually, I really don't want you to fundraise. What I want you to do is go talk to 5 people and ask them why we're letting kids go hungry. I mean, why? Why are we? How do we? How can you sit in this room and leave here tonight knowing that every day 20,000 kids are going without food? To Cliff's point, that's fucked up. Personally, it makes me tremble to the point where I also don't get paid for what I do. I work at the Warriors. After working at the food bank and just borderline killing myself, I had to go back to the regular world because I just couldn't fix the problem there. And so I went to work for the Warriors. Warriors gave me an opportunity. That opportunity is to continue my work with Grind Out Hunger because they believe in this community. See, we've got a partner now with the Warriors that I don't think this community has had in a long time. And that's a partnership to better our community. That's a partnership to teach kids how to read. We do Read to Achieve program, 500 million words. We inspire these kids to read. You know, we adopt family. I mean, it's like 115 different events. So when I saw this opportunity to go to work for this organization and still be able to continue what I did with Grind Out Hunger, to me, that was a huge blessing. And I just want to say a couple things. First of all, NEXTies, right? What is it? It's just an award that sits on your desk. Just like anything else, collects dust. You look at it every once in a while, you brush it off. I was almost going to bring it, then I thought, nah, I'll let you get yours. But then I started thinking, like, what it meant for me was that people were paying attention to what I was doing. And people were concerned, just as concerned with the community as I was. And that I knew that at any given point, be as controversial as it may our group of NEXTies are, I can pick up the phone, get everybody in the same room, and focus on a problem or ask a question that I need help with, unequivocally. It's a weird group of people, right? I mean, you got Cliff. We could stop there. But ironically, I know if I needed to pick up the phone and go, Cliff would stop what he was doing, no matter how busy his day was, and he would make time with coffee, lunch, or whatever you want. Just show up. This is where I say, fuck you. But every one of these people here actually have that same skill set. We all want to better our community. We all want to make a difference in our life. Mine happens to be childhood hunger. I would like you all to take out of here tonight the thought in your head, just why? And why can't we change that? It's our choice to change that. Why aren't you going down the street asking 4 or 5 people, do you know that 20,000 kids are going without a meal today? How does that make you feel? You would be surprised what advocacy can do for you and how strong of a message that is when you actually take a stance on something. And so when I go into schools and I talk to kids, and it's a little bit about feeding people, it's a little bit about, it's mainly about choice. What is your choice going to be in your life? What are you going to do in your life that's going to make a difference for the generation that's coming behind you? That's something else we've forgotten. We live in the now so much that we don't think about what's happening later. These children are going to be inheriting what we're doing right now. The problems that we're dealing with happened when we were children. Are we going to let the next generation deal with worse, or are we going to let the next generation have a better chance? That's up to us in this room, and that's the group of people that are sitting right here in front of you, and these are the people that are going to come down the pipe. And I can just tell you that if anybody wants to talk to me about this, I'm always available to talk about ending hunger. So once again, I'd like to give a round of applause to all the speakers. Matthew Swinnerton, the Nick, all the sponsors that are coming on board with the NEXTies. And moreover, I would just like to say thank you for giving me the time to talk about what I do and why I do it. Thanks. Good night.